Good afternoon. Thank you everyone for being here today and joining the Board of Trustees for WMU for in-person and virtually. It's our pleasure to be here with you today as we consider important decision-making for the university that guides many of us. I certainly want to appreciate and acknowledge colleagues and faculty and staff and students and everyone else in the audience for their great leadership, not only serving on this board, but just being part of the WMU community. You are all true champions of WMU. So let's begin. Dr. Schumann, do we have a quorum?
We do. Trustee Burris is online. She'll be joining us virtually.
Okay, so all live stream is operating and ready to go. Thank you, Jacob. Okay, at this time, I'll take a motion to accept today's agenda. Okay.
Support.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Thank you.
Aye.
We have 2 minutes from June 26th and August 13th. Does anyone have any concerns, questions, amendments?
No, I'll move their approval.
Okay. Second?
Second.
Okay. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All right.
Aye.
Okay, thank you very much. Well, it's wonderful to be back here together again, and I hope the start of this academic year has been especially great for each and every one of you. Just 1 year ago, we were here in the early stages of our search for our next new 10th president. So today, we're very fortunate to have welcomed our new advocate-in-chief in July, President Russ Cavalluna, who's really already embraced the role and is leading Western with great energy and passion. President Cavalluna, welcome once again to the board.
Thank you.
As co-chair of the presidential transition team, I have had the privilege of joining the president on these listening tours that have been taking place on campus and some off campus. I've been inspired and encouraged by the participation and the depth of the conversation of these sessions. I'm certain President Cavalluna will speak to his experiences later, but I just want to say it's really just been a great opportunity for me to participate, but also an opportunity for students and staff and community partners to share some of their insights on how we can better shape WMU for the future. Our campus community has risen to the occasion, and on behalf of the board, I want to thank everyone for your thoughtful perspectives and commitment to helping Western move forward. Before we discuss today's agenda, though, I just kind of want to talk briefly about state politics, which everybody can sigh if you like. It's really regarding the budgeting process, and which at this time remains incomplete. The outcome of the process will have a direct impact on WMU. As many of you know, the legislative leaders, the governor are working to reach an agreement on the fiscal year budget, which begins October 1st, which is just around the corner. It is critical for WMU that an agreement be reached before the deadline. We, as a board, strongly support a provision that was included in the House-passed version of the budget, which continues the recognition that education is public education and needs to be supported by the state school aid fund. The Michigan Association of State Universities also noted this yesterday. We want to thank the governor, the Senate, and the House for including increased investments in WMU in each of their recommendations. And we urge them to include these increased investments in the final budget agreement. With that, I truly support what's going on in the House-passed version, and we hope that these can be resolved before October 1st for everyone. So now on to the board's agenda for today. We're going to hear from remarks from our shared governance partners, President Cavalluna, who will acknowledge our summer 2025 employee graduates, and then also tee up a presentation by Zhang Legacy Collection Center. We also have items from Interim Provost Chris Cheatham regarding the PIO contract and agreement, and we will also be considering delegation of authority to confer degrees. We have some items on the consent agenda, which we'll consider a personnel report for those that are retiring, which we appreciate their service to WMU, but also sabbaticals and otherwise. And then we have an amendment to the Brian Scott Lacombe Humanitarian Scholarship. It's more of a redefinition of allowing us to expand to, I think it's applied engineering and that. versus a printing major. So it's well worth it. So thank you very much. At this time, I'll ask our 10th president, Russ Cavalluna, to share his remarks.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Trustees, thank you for allowing me to sit here with you. I've sat in the audience many times, and it's a little bit of a dream come true to sit up here with you, so thank you. Thank you very much. Was I broadcasting okay without that?
Yeah, a little bit.
Okay, all right. See, this is already collaboration, folks. You can see the chairs helping me out. Madam Chair, thank you very much for your introductory comments. I echo your sentiments that we're not in the business of complaining about state government, but we are in the business of asking for help. And so if those in Lansing are listening, we are grateful for the support you've given us through the years, and we're hopeful you will continue that support maybe even before the end of this month. I also want to thank you, Madam Chair, for co-chairing the presidential transition team and listening sessions. Some of you may or may not know that the president of the Faculty Senate, Dr. Amy Noggle, President Noggle, and my friend Amy co-chaired that also. And I see several folks who helped build what is the ongoing listening session. So if you wouldn't mind, Dr. Noggle, would you join your colleagues in the transition team standing? I just want everyone to see the kind of the folks that built this. I see several of you. Thank you very much. So we've been moving around campus quite a bit as a group to do formal listening sessions. Some of you know I've been moving around campus on my own, kind of popping into your offices and your classrooms and your workspaces. I just am so excited to be back at Western Michigan University. And I'm even more excited. I've been here 2 months, Madam Chair, but I'm even more excited that it's the beginning of the semester because, as you know, and as everyone before you knows, that the campus really springs to life. And a couple things just recently happened that I want to just call out my colleagues and my teammates for having made the beginning of the semester so successful. You probably saw that we did the Bronco Bash, and that's something that's been going on for decades. It was exciting for me to take part in my new role, but I've been in that environment for many, many times myself as a student or as an employee. And I think, Dr. Schumann, we reached a record with how many people were out there. And if you weren't there, folks, it was a testament to how many people care about and are comfortable on our campus to come and be with each other and see and feel what this campus feels like. There were also some really great Welcome Week events that a lot of folks had a lot to do with, but I do want to call out 2 graduate assistants in the president's office. Lita and Todd are over. I see Todd over here, and Lita's over here. You guys are flanking me. You're also making sure I don't get out of here without making mistakes. The students that were new to this campus got to see a really exciting and engaged opportunity about what it feels like to live and to learn here, and those 2 graduate students were really great leaders in that. And they're examples of what we're going to become as a future because they're students here while they're leaders. We also had our first home football game very, very recently. I see Chief Merlot in the corner. His team was very helpful with the student tailgate, which was fun and safe. Those 2 words were very closely connected because of your team and your colleagues. I saw Michigan State Police and county sheriffs and, of course, our own campus safety. Thank you, Chief Merlot. And Student Affairs and Athletics both had really, really great effort to show students and community members what it's like to be on campus. And if you weren't aware, we triple the amount of people who come into this region and they spend money and they see our beautiful campus and they root for what was a really, really great football game for everything except the very, very end, which is okay. We play to win, but we also play to improve, and we accomplished one of those things. You also saw lately that it's a really good place to work here at Western Michigan University. I hope me sitting here today shows you that I agree with that. But over 160,000 people around our country answered Forbes' questionnaire about where it is good to work, and I assume they also said where it is not good to work. But that's only assumption because what they said in their answers, and there were a lot of folks like you who work here, what they said was that Western was a great place to work. In fact, we were rated the highest higher education institution in the state of Michigan, which I'm really excited, although not really surprised about, because I know how great it is to work here, and I know how great it is to live and learn here. And so I just want to tell all of you who work here, see people recognize what you do, because it's not just working here that is great. It's working with each other, and that's an exciting thing for me to be part of. I think one of the reasons people like to work here so much is because we've had some really great expansions over my predecessor's tenure in our physical plant. Two of those are worthy of recognition for LEED certifications. And if you don't know what LEED is, it's LEED, and it's a standard that identifies buildings, physical structures that are both saving in money because of how they're built, but also saving in carbon footprint because of how they're built. And there's two buildings that recently received certifications that I want to call out. One is Dunbar Hall, which received a gold status LEED certification, and one is our Student Center, which received a silver certification in LEED. There's a lot of people who deserve a lot of credit for those things, but certainly facilities management, which rolls up underneath Vice President Vanderklay. And then, of course, the College of Arts and Sciences, we're leading these, and I see my friend Dean Koretsky here. If you didn't know, she hosted also recently an event I was really pleased that you invited me to, Carla. It was a recognition of her teammates who were receiving promotion, and it was a great team-building event. And that's just two examples of things that we're seeing here at the college, at the university. And LEED certification is what I know a lot of you care about on this campus, because during the listening sessions I've heard that our financial and environmental stewardship are top on your list. And so for us to win those two certifications is something I'm very excited about. I'm also excited about something that comes out of Vice President Ramsey Seeker's area. As you know, he is proud to help and supervise the Biosciences Research and Commercialization Center. So easy to say, we actually just call it the BRCC. That was one of the inaugural recipients of state funding, and $5.3 million is coming to Western Michigan University and Dr. Seeker in that BRCC's work. That's a big part of the $60 million that the state of Michigan contributed to that. So you probably know we're punching above our weight in research, and this is literal dollars that prove that. Some other things that are happening on campus that I'm really excited about are our students. Not surprisingly again, but really, really encouraging, showing that Bronco Nation is not only strong, but is actually leading the way. One of them is the Bronco Cybersecurity Club. Got second place out of 27 teams in the undergraduate division that were competing with each other. These cybersecurity club students were competing with each other in the 2025 Social Engineering Cybersecurity Competition. And I heard about the cybersecurity club during my listening session that the chair and I met with an industrious young man who is either the leader or the number 2 leader of the cybersecurity club. And I'll tell you, these are leaders, Madam Chair. He told me how we need to change the curriculum now to improve, and he didn't tell me, but he could have said, and by the way, we got second place out of 27 teams. And so we're pretty excited about them. 8 Western Michigan University students were awarded the 2025 Benjamin A. Gilman International Scholarship. If you don't know what that is, it's a highly competitive federal study abroad program that is specifically directed towards students with high financial need. And one of our teammates, trustees on Western Michigan University's employee status, deserves credit for that. That's Joe Millistan. Is Joe here? Okay, if he were here, I'd ask him to stand, and I'd say he's the director of study abroad and faculty enrichment in WMU's Henneke Institute for Global Education. And frankly, the entire Higgy team deserves credit for this great. In fact, I think, Madam Chair, this ties last year's record of 8 students receiving that. The College of Education and Human Development is also in line for some pats on the back. They've won 2 grants, both trying to help students as they become better educators. You know, I have family members who are graduates of that college. It was just called the College of Education when they were there, but it's the College of Education and Human Development. If you don't know the leader of that group, that's Dean Deinhardt. I was flipping hot dogs with her. Was it yesterday, Kaylor? Yesterday, they put on a really great hot dog lunch, and I'll tell you, students liked that. They showed up to that. And they even ate the food that I burned. That's good. I appreciate them doing that. But more importantly, I didn't see Dean Deinhardt. Is she here? She and I flipped hot dogs, but more importantly, she is leading a college that recently was awarded $230,000 to help make pre-K STEM learning more engaging for Southwest Michigan students, and then $650,000 that was awarded to her teammate, Doctors Crystal Earhart and Jessica Hayback, to launch a psychologist training program that will occur in the fall of 2027 that'll help practitioners deal with the shortage of what we all know is a growing problem in mental health generally across our population, but certainly those that are in public education or education generally. I've mentioned some of my colleagues and teammates, and I want to keep doing that. One of them is Tamara Davis. She's the director of WMU's Starting Gate, and she was recently awarded a Woman of Achievement and Courage from a group called Woman Up and Celebrate, a Kalamazoo organization. So thank you. I don't know if I saw, is Ms. Davis here? And then, Madam Chair, I could just keep going on and on, but I will stop, I promise. I want to remind you all that Bronco Nation needs to, and this is a nice bookend to your comments, Madam Chair, Bronco Nation needs to show up and tell Lansing how great we are, and we're giving ourselves an opportunity to do that on September 24th, which is Capitol Day. That is when we'll, I was going to say invade, but I don't want to use it. We will visit forcefully Lansing to say why we deserve support, and hopefully there'll be a budget by then. But if there's not a budget by September 24th, we'll come together and be on and around the Capitol. And Vice President Brenneman is here. He's got a great series of ways for us to be advocates all together, and I believe we'll have some athletes there. If you haven't heard, there's the last national championship to exist in Michigan comes from Kalamazoo, and so we'll be bringing that national championship trophy up to Lansing. Hopefully that hardware will bring us some gold. So we're excited about that. If you want more information about September 24th Capitol Day, please let me know. As you know, I'll be there. And Madam Chair, like I said, I could keep talking, but I know that that's probably not in everyone's interest. So I'll stop and answer any questions from any of the trustees.
Any questions? Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you, Madam Chair.
Turn your mic on. All right. Thank you very much for those nice remarks and for all that's being done on WMU's campus by faculty and staff. Now I'd like to invite our shared governance partners to the podium. We have the representatives come from WSA, GSA, and Faculty Senate. We have Dr. Amy Noggle, Faculty Senate President and co-chair of the Presidential Transition Team. Thank you for your leadership and all your hard work. You have the podium.
Thank you. Good afternoon, Chair Edgerton, members of the board, President Cavaluna, colleagues, and guests. On behalf of the Western Michigan University Faculty Senate, thank you for the opportunity to address the board and update you on our activities. The administration recently approved a few memoranda of action. The first one is MOA 2507, which is renaming the Faculty Research and Creative Activity Support Fund and comprised programs. That was an attempt to improve on existing acronyms to make them easier to remember and understand. That MOA has not yet been put into effect, but we have passed it through the Senate. The second is MOA 2509, which is to revise the undergraduate and graduate catalogs to change the Grade Appeal and Program Dismissal Appeal Committee to the Appeals Review Committee, which also improves upon an alphabet soup name that was difficult to remember and understand. Over the summer, the Faculty Senate Executive Board revisited our 2024 to 2026 action plan. So our focus areas for this year are faculty engagement, coordination with shared governance partners, shared governance retreat that's in the planning with a focus on the value of higher education, and also university identity and direction. Having mentioned university direction, the Faculty Senate will again be highlighting the objective of the University Strategic Plan at each of our monthly Senate meetings and coordinating topic speakers to align with the monthly theme. The Executive Board also recently completed and put together the council and committee charges for this academic year. A theme arose across arose with several of the councils being asked to explore opportunities, threats, and challenges with respect to the focus of each group as it relates to artificial intelligence. So work will continue by the Undergraduate Studies Council on experiential learning and experience-driven learning. I also want to mention, although both the president and Chair Edgerton have mentioned this, that I have been helping with as a co-chair of the president's transition team. So far, we've had 5 campus listening sessions. And I think we've all been encouraged by the strengths that have been noted by our campus community, and we've listened carefully to the challenges and opportunities that have been presented to us as well. And we look forward to compiling the information from all of our listening sessions to help guide the president and his leadership team in the days, weeks, and months to come. Those conclude my comments for today, and I'm available to answer any questions you might have.
Thank you, Dr. Nago. Any questions, comments? Thank you very much. Thanks
Thank
for all
you.
your work, too. Now I'd like to entertain Mr. Luke Chrisman from Student Association. Welcome, Luke.
Okay. Good afternoon, Chair Edgerton, the rest of the board, President Kavaluna, and to everyone in attendance. I want to extend my greatest appreciation for allowing me to stand here and speak on behalf of the WMU student body. As the school year has begun, WSA has already hit the ground running with our operations. We've been seeing momentum like never before. Engagement is up and energy is high across all 3 of our branches. Start with our allocations team. We've already had 2 deliberations for the year already, where we have funded 49 RSOs in August and another 36 in this month, totaling in $195,791.08. This resource for students could not have been possible without the support of you all and the student assessment fee raises, allowing for us to fund even more RSOs to create even more meaningful opportunities for here at WMU. Our very first Legislative Assembly meeting had 128 students in attendance, a turnout that we anticipate will only grow. In addition to that, we've also had nominations for the academic chair position for all but one of the colleges here. I'm sorry, Graduate College, we will get a representative soon, but this level of participation in the legislative cabinet is unheard of ever since the positions were created in the fall of 2022. In the judicial branch, our Chief Justice has been interviewing applicants to be one of the next 6 associate justices. There have been over 20 applicants to fill these 6 positions, once again, something that we've not seen before. And as of September 3rd, our executive branch is fully confirmed and ready to lead. We're all excited to work for the betterment of every student. And speaking of that work, we have some of our staple events coming up soon. Our Mental Health Week, spearheaded by our Executive Officer for Student Affairs, Genevieve Brown, takes place later this month from September 29th through October 3rd. We look forward to the Mental Health Fair on October 2nd from 5 to 8:30, and we're partnering with more than 15 campus and community organizations to bring a week full of programming. Later on, in October, we will be hosting our Civic Engagement Week from October 20th through the 25th, led by our Executive Officer for Governmental Affairs, Ian Evans. This week aims to promote civic engagement and participation, not just through the obvious reasons like voting, but also through everyday actions like staying informed, attending events, and engaging in meaningful dialogue. All this momentum and all the events that we've had aren't just about filling seats or checking boxes, but it's about creating real impact for students. Every initiative, every event, and every new member brings us closer to our goal of building a more empowered student community. At the heart of WSA's work is our commitment to student advocacy. We stand firmly in support of student First Amendment rights on campus, the right to speak freely, protest peacefully, and engage in the aforementioned meaningful discourse. These freedoms are essential to the university experience and central to our mission of empowering students, and we are working to ensure every student knows their rights and can express themselves with confidence and without fear. In addition to that, our judicial branch has been working alongside WMU's Legal Affairs, Risk and Compliance team to bring back the free legal aid clinic. This resource has been something that we've been working on for returning for over a year, and we anticipate its return in the near future. As you may know, WSA's motto is Empowered Students, Empowering Students. To us, that means students standing up for each other in classrooms, on campus, and beyond. We are by students, for students. And I want to say thank you for the amazing shared governance systems that we have here at WMU, allowing for free and open communication between students, faculty, and administrators. Through this partnership, we can all continue to build a campus that reflects the needs, values, and voices of its students together. Once again, thank you for allowing me to speak on behalf of the student body. I look forward to our continued partnerships, and as always, onward for the brown and gold. I'll take any questions if you have them.
questions?
I have a few, Madam Chair.
Yep, and I do too.
President, oh, go ahead then.
No, just, and Luke, you can, I mean, you can get back to me if you don't know this right off the top of your head. With the given increase in the financial aid that you guys have utilized to support groups, what's the increase in number of RSUs from where you were to maybe even this year or last year compared to this year? I mean, and do you see that continued growth going in the clubs?
I mean, we've had, at least in the August deliberations, that was one of our largest summer deliberations from RSOs. This September one was a little bit down. We funded about 83,000, which is pretty much on track to where we were last year, but I know our August one was a lot higher than we had anticipated, which was good.
Right, good. And how many, like, when you translate that into like just the number of organizations, I know that you have the dollars spent, but is it, 80, 75? How many, do you know how many number that actually impacts or have come to you and asked?
Like RSOs?
Like,
or-
how many RSOs are actually on campus, I guess, is what I'm asking.
I know there were over 300 last year, and we had funded 146 last year, which is about half of them. And this year already, we've, I think, funded 85 total, if I'm remembering the numbers off the top of my head.
That's okay.
So,
Okay.
but we expect it to continue as it goes on, but we'll see
Okay.
if it's returning RSOs or new RSOs, but.
Okay, great, thank you.
President Kritzman, thank you for making time to meet with me regularly. I'm enjoying the one-on-ones we're having. I have several questions. You mentioned that your interest from students and engagement is higher than normal. Do you have a sense of what's driving that?
So many students do come to WSA for RSO funding because one of the reasons, or one of the ways that you have to get funding is to have a voting representative through us. But there's just also been increase in just wanting to represent other students and represent themselves and create meaningful change on campus. Like what I was saying with all the students coming in, trying to be academic chair colleges or getting with the associate to be an associate justice. We were not really expecting such high engagement.
Yeah, would you say 20 applicants?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But we don't really have any things that we can point out and say this is why students come. But a lot of students that we've had, at least through interviews, just cite wanting to create change and be there for other students in their interviews. So a driving factor is just wanting to support our Broncos.
Yeah. How long have you been president? It hasn't been that long, right?
I was confirmed April 15th of last year.
Okay, so,
Of this
so
year.
you're a full-time student and you're leading this. How's your semester going?
It's busy. I mean, I'm only taking, only 14 credits, but I've had some very long days. Like I would get on, my first class every day starts at 11, but there's been multiple days where I'm on campus from 11 and I don't leave until like 8:30, 9 at night. But it's the life I chose, the life I want. I'm doing everything that I want to do, nothing's stopping me.
That's good. And you're having to break in a new university president. Last question. Will we see you? And it's okay if the answer is no, because you may have obligations in your presidency or in being a student, but will we see you at Capitol Day later this month?
I have not RSVP'd yet, but I do plan on going. So it is in my schedule, I just haven't RSVP'd.
All right. Thank you, President Kritzman. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you.
Thank you, Luke. Now I'd welcome Ms. Claire Binford, Graduate Student Association.
Good afternoon, Chair Edgerton, members of the board, President Cavaluna, and all in attendance. I am so grateful for the opportunity to share the work my executive board, graduate assistants, and I have started to support the needs of graduate students. We are thrilled to see so many people back on campus and pursuing their academic passions. One of our primary focuses this year is increasing awareness and involvement in the Graduate Student Association's programming and support efforts, including through the increase in money allocated for the Graduate Financial Allocations Committee, which provides funding for students who are attending conferences, collecting data, completing certifications, or supporting graduate students' registered student organizations. The first round of applications are due September 19th, with deliberations occurring on the 26th. These grants allow students to grow in their academic and professional pursuits, and we're really excited to see all of the great things they do. We also plan for community support through the planning of monthly gatherings to help graduate students build connections and learn more about campus resources. Our first gathering already saw growth from last year's meeting attendance, and we would like to thank both the university libraries and the Writing Center for having representatives at our first gathering Their resources provide immense and necessary support to the graduate student body. We look forward to the opportunity to connect with more campus departments and offices. In addition to the monthly community gatherings, we are also hosting monthly General Assembly meetings. This will be a chance for my executive board to share their updates and have a more formal setting for graduate students to speak directly with us. Any changes to the Graduate Student Association Constitution or other major decisions will be voted on at these meetings as well. We are also excited to be attending upcoming events such as the Graduate College Welcome Event this Saturday, the Sustainability Celebration coming up soon, and to be taking part in the Homecoming celebrations in early October. We are so excited about the opportunities to collaborate and meet students from across campus. Which brings me to our plans for Homecoming Week. We sent out a survey to graduate students towards the end of the summer and beginning of the semester and found that essential needs were one of the top identified areas that graduate students request supported. With the support of Danielle Eastlick, who does incredible work as the program manager of Montgomery Essential Needs, we are planning a week-long drive during Homecoming Week to collect items for the Bronco Food Pantry. We aim to collect 10,000 items, which she's assured me is possible, and are excited to be collaborating with the other student assessment fee organizations and the Office of Student Engagement to get the word out and reach our goal. And I would like to invite everyone in the room to contribute to the drive if they can, as it will touch so many students. And if any members of the board would like to support the drive in any way or learn more, please reach out to me. We will also have donation boxes with a list of requested items across the campus during the week, and I look forward to updating you on the results of the collection drive at the October meeting. We are also currently accepting applications for the 3-minute thesis competition to be hosted on November 18th in the Graduate Student Commons and Waldo Library. This is a great opportunity for students to share their research, and as an audience member, a fantastic way to learn more about the incredible work and passion of our graduate students, and I hope everyone here can attend. And thank you, President Cavaluna, for agreeing to judge the competition. Applications are open until October 17th, and I would also like to thank the Graduate College for their support in the organization of this program. My board and I are so looking forward to all that we have planned for this year to support graduate students. Thank you again for your time today. I can now take any questions.
Questions?
President Binford, thank you for meeting with me also and helping me in transition into my role. The 3-minute thesis, is that going to be in the area of the library that's, I think it's the second or third level of the bridge?
It's the third level. It's kind of when you enter the thing, you go to the left and you go back. That's the Graduate Student Commons. So there is like swipe access to get in as well.
Yeah, I was there recently, and I actually saw the graduate assistant I mentioned earlier there making use of the space. Is she a member of your group?
I would love for you to be a part of our group.
You are now, Lita.
Yes. Come find us the 19th, 4 p.m. You can find us in the Student Center.
Yeah. No, I can't remember what other question I had. Will I see you in Lansing at Capitol Day?
I don't know yet. But
Okay.
possibly.
If there's something I can do to help, let me know. Students being there, speaking to legislators, are particularly valuable, especially elected student leaders like you. So thank you for considering doing that. And what types of things are you going to be asking for in your donation boxes?
Yeah, so we've received a list of items that are most requested, which does include the food items you might imagine, like boxed macaroni and cheese, but also personal care items. So we also want to help with Bronco's period, so that would be menstrual products, other personal care items. And then we are also hoping that we can collect some older caps and gowns. We're reaching out to the alumni, and since it's homecoming and they'll be on campus, our hope is that they can give some of their old caps and gowns for students who are unable to afford the regalia.
Thank you, Madam President. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Yep. Hey, Claire, could I ask you the time frame for the collection and that? Could you send that to Dr. Schumann so
Yes.
he can share it with the board? I'm not sure it's on our calendar, but it definitely, if any of us are available or would like to participate.
Yes, that'd be great.
Okay, that'd be great. Thank you.
Yes, we'll be collecting Monday through Friday of homecoming week, so that is it's the first full week of October, and then we're also looking to collect at the tailgate as well. So on Saturday, if you're going over to the tailgate, you can bring some stuff over for the football game. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
President Cataluna, it is yours to acknowledge our employee graduates.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I think the way I'll handle this is I will read, still thinking about lead certification. I will read all the names of the graduates, and then I will ask for any of those persons who heard their name to stand, and then we'll acknowledge all of them in one round of applause. So, for summer one, the leadoff is the graduate assistant I already mentioned, Todd Kuhn, and we have Benjamin Holland, Shannon DeVries, we have Carly Parada, we have Mosaid Ayawash, Hawk Osterhout, Brian Dillon, Alex Spratt, Sarah Helmer, Daniel Supa, Christine Piazza, Zach Moore, and Dr. Nan Mee. For summer two, we have the following graduates: Jessica Pickett, Malia Roberts, who was on the, is she here? Who was on the Presidential Selection Committee, I believe. I love the job you did on that one. Spencer, you were doing that, you were picking a president and then going and then finishing. That's a lot of work. Spencer Myers, Carly Perota again. Is Carly here? 2 degrees in 2 summer sessions. That's pretty impressive. Jesse Wise, Abby Adams, and Dr. Bonnie Ebendick. Would you all rise and let us congratulate you on being Bronco graduates? All right, Madam Chair. I'm now going to introduce the next item, which is item number 9 on our agenda, which will be a presentation from the Zhang Legacy Collections Center. The folks that we have here, I think I met some of these folks recently, didn't I? Yes. In the library. Are you still digging up aerial photographs for me?
Oh, we are.
Okay. That's not what you're here for today. I'm sorry. My teammates from the university's library and the Zhang Legacy Collections Center are John Winchell, Archives Curator, Lynn Houghton, Regional History Curator, and Susan Steyer, Distinctive Collections Librarian, and they are going to share a presentation that they've titled A History of Teaching and Learning. So, thank you, and the floor is yours.
Thank you for inviting us to present about the Zhang Legacy Collection Center today. I'm Sue Stoyer. I am the librarian for Distinctive Collections. And in February of 2025, 39 theater history students learned about primary sources at the Charles C. and Lynn L. Zhang Legacy Collection Center. We provided a hands-on exhibit of programs, prompt books, photos, and periodicals about performance at WMU in Southwest Michigan and from around the world. The curators and the course professor guided students as they explored materials about performance and answered questions to help the students develop ideas for research papers. Some students returned later to work more closely with curators on specific items. The heart of our work is research, learning, and discovery. The collections of rare and one-of-a-kind materials are a laboratory for the social sciences, the humanities, and the fine arts. Every year, our curatorial team works with instructors across the curriculum to design engaging class experiences. We also host classes from KVCC, Calvin University, and other regional institutions. Such experiential learning opportunities help students thrive. We also develop collection-focused events and help individuals with a variety of information needs, such as local elementary, middle, and high school students, special interest groups, and WMU faculty and staff. These visits introduce people to images and ideas which expand their understanding and inspire them. Let's dive deeper into this work with John Winchell.
The University Archives was established in 1954 during Western's 50th anniversary celebration. The Archives houses the papers, publications, ephemera, and photographs documenting the history and evolution of the university. As an example, we provide a home to papers from all of the university's presidents going back to Dwight B. Waldo. The archives help celebrate the achievements of Western and its community. For example, we provide images and information to units like marketing and strategic communications, marketing, communications, and engagement of intercollegiate athletics, and university advancement and the alumni office. We recently scanned photographs for athletics of the incoming Bronco Hall of Fame class, and one of our students is preparing a display case in the Waldo Library on Dr. Benjamin Wilson for a legacy tour during homecoming at the request of advancement. When occupational therapy prepared for their 100-year anniversary, I assisted with research on the history and development of the program. I am on call to do practical research for the university departments and staff. Examples range from tracking down samples of organizational charts for the university chief of staff, determining when the first homecoming celebration occurred for student affairs. It was November 10th of 1923, and helping mechanical and aerospace engineering with a timeline of their programs for accreditation purposes. Collections have also been consulted and research support provided for a number of honors and master's theses. An example is a master's thesis written on the history of the dance department. Not all of these collections are available for research to protect privacy and confidentiality, and most require permission from depositing departments to access them. The Archives observes FERPA, HIPAA, and privacy guidelines when dealing with many of our records. We occasionally also participate in the FOIA process.
A Civil War diary written in 1863 by a young farmer from Charleston Township in Kalamazoo County, a member of the 6th Michigan Cavalry Regiment. An 1873 map that shows the course of the Kalamazoo River. Material related to Parkland Village, a Kalamazoo neighborhood planned by Frank Lloyd Wright. Records from the Upjohn Company, the Kalamazoo pharmaceutical firm founded in 1886 and now part of Pfizer. Mugshots from the Kalamazoo County Sheriff's Department from 1899 to 1934. These are just 5 examples of the many resources that can be found in the regional history collections at the Zhang Legacy Collection Center. Started in 1959, it contains a wide variety of materials from southwestern and western Michigan, including diaries, letters, newspapers, business and organizational records, ephemera, maps, and photographs. In 1962, the Regional History Collections was designated a regional depository for the Archives of Michigan for county records for 12 counties, which includes tax assessment rolls, court records, divorces, dentists, and even docked horses. The Regional History Collections, like the other 2 collections at the Zhang, support students, staff, and faculty, primarily from Western Michigan University. 2 of the classes this semester I will be working with, for example, will be using the Civil War Diary, which is one of our resources that has been digitized, and 1 class will be using the map. The Regional History Collection supports instruction, research, and support for students and faculty, not only here at Western Michigan University, but also other colleges, universities, along with students in elementary, middle, and high school. We also work with researchers and individuals across the state, the country, and all over the world. The long list of publications that have come from using the materials in our collections are a testament to the value of what we do at the Zhang Legacy Collection Center, linking people to the resources they need.
Special collections and rare books began in 1995 when research material and medieval manuscripts held by the former Institute for Cistercian and Monastic Studies moved into Waldo Library. The subsequent curators have developed a number of specialized sub-collections of rare material which complement the research and teaching needs on campus, including the Carol Ann Hennecke American Women's Poetry Collection, the Medieval Studies Collections, Historical Children's Collections, and the Book Arts and Design Collections. In 2020, the collections moved to Zhang, allowing us to explore ways to use all of our collections together. Student employees and interns work with all 3 of these collections. They learn job skills like research, organization, collaboration, and communication that can help them succeed. And we have former student workers in professional positions at museums, libraries, and universities across the country. Students gain up-to-date skills with cultural heritage fields because we maintain professional standards to make collections easy to find and easy to use, and continually learn from the materials we curate and the communities we serve. We also make use of new technologies and the expertise of our library colleagues to transform items through description, digitization, mapping, and the creation of data sets for use by scholars around the world. These collections document the growth and changing focus of the community and curriculum at WMU and in Southwest Michigan. We are grateful for the donors of appropriate material and funds to support our work, including our facility, the Zhang Legacy Collection Center, which provides an excellent environment to preserve collections and for visitors to use. Each day, we honor the work of the dedicated people who collected and preserved these materials by continuing to work with these collections and helping students, faculty, staff, and community members learn and create new knowledge for future generations. And if you haven't been to visit us, you are welcome to come. Thank you very much. Do you have any questions?
Any questions? Thank you very much. I really appreciate this, and I think I will come and visit.
I would love to see you.
I'm local, so I can. Very impressive. Well, we'll move on to our next board action item, first let me ask, are there any public comments in the audience?
We have public comments at the end of the meeting, but not influencing action items.
Okay, thank you very much. Our next action item is number 11, and we will hear from Dr. Cheatham, Interim Provost and Vice President of Academic Affairs. He's going to give us the updates on the Professional Instructors Organization, PIO, agreement.
Thank you, Chair Edgerton. All right, I don't hear any feedback anymore. Western Michigan University and the WMU Professional Instructors Organization, which we call the PIO, reached a tentative agreement on a 4-year contract that would be effective from August 16th, 2025 to August 15th, 2029. This tentative agreement was ratified by the PIO membership on August 29th, 2025. PIO bargaining unit members perform instructional duties on a part-time basis across all academic colleges. While the numbers change each semester or summer session, there are around 400 individuals in the unit most semesters, with significantly fewer individuals in summer sessions. I'd like to take this opportunity to recognize both bargaining teams. Western's bargaining team included Matthew Mingus, who's the Director of Academic Labor Relations, Decker Haynes, Chair of the Department of Management, and Crystal Earhart, Senior Associate Dean in the College of Education and Human Development. The PIO team included Tim Bober, PIO President, Kate Elder, PIO's Contract Enforcement Officer, Martin Birch, and Irene Kivinen. I appreciate the many hours all these individuals committed to this process. I just wanted to highlight a few elements of the new contract. The title, quote, professional instructor replaces part-time instructor. This has always been the name of the bargaining unit, but the official change deliberately emphasizes the importance of these instructors across Western. The contract creates a senior professional instructor status that is achieved through a much simpler approach than the current Instructor 2 status. The contract also provides annual SRC, Student Recreation Center membership, as a taxable benefit for professional instructors starting in spring 2026, thus providing them with the same benefit already provided for the TAU, TAU, and AUP bargaining units. Specifically, with respect to compensation, the contract specifies across-the-board increases to the per credit hour minima of 3%, 2.25%, 2.5%, and 2.25%. Thus, it is recommended that the Board of Trustees approve the 4-year contract with the PIO union and the attached wage rates. Thank you.
Any questions for Dr. Cheatham? Okay, if I have Kate come after. I'll entertain a motion from the board to accept. Second?
Second.
Okay, roll call?
Chair Edgerton.
Yes.
Vice Chair Turfy. Yes. Trustee Burris.
Yes.
Trustee Hoadley.
Yes.
Trustee Williams.
Yes.
Trustee Wood.
Yes.
Madam Chair, motion passes.
Did you vote for us?
I did, yes.
Thank you very much. Now, I would like to invite Kate Elder up to say a few words from PIO. Thank you, Kate, for being here today.
Apologies, I chose to sit very far away from where I was meant to be. Good afternoon, everybody. Thank you so much. My name is Kate Elder. I'm the Vice President of Contract Enforcement for the Professional Instructors Organization, or the PIO. Basically, I wanted to thank you for the ratification of the vote today. It was a while coming. We started bargaining in May of this year. We had a really wonderful collaborative approach this time between the WMU administration team and our PIO negotiation team. It seems that throughout negotiations, we had sort of a aligning of goals concerning the equity and really the just recognition of PIOs as being a strong and important part of the instruction that we provide here at this university. The university is created to instruct students, and with our instruction, we are fostering a quicker avenue for students to be able to achieve those degrees. So we wanted to just thank again the Board of Trustees as well as the administration team for approaching this in such a collaborative way. We fostered each session with a new sort of brainstorming idea rather than, you know, sort of a combative back and forth. I look forward to, in the interim as well as in the coming bargaining negotiations, this same kind of collaborative approach that really brought us to an agreement that was good for both sides of the table. So again, I want to thank you for having me here today. If you have any questions, I'm available to answer them.
Any questions for Ms. Elder? No? Thank you. Thank you very much for those kind words. Sorry, Doc. Move on to item number 12. Dr. Schumann will lead us through the delegated Board of Trustees authority to confer WMU degrees.
Thank you, Chair Edgerton. We've got some important housekeeping to do today. We celebrated our recent graduates earlier, and part of that process is the constitutional authority that the board has and their fiduciary responsibility in order to confirm those degrees. The board typically on a yearly basis confers that authority to the president, and because we have recently had a presidential transition, I would like to read the recommended action. The Western Michigan University Board of Trustees authorizes President Russ Cavaluna to confer degrees on their behalf at the 2025 fall commencement ceremony as recommended by the faculty.
Any questions on this? Okay, take a motion.
Move to accept the recommended action.
Support.
Okay, roll call.
Chair Edgerton.
Yes.
Vice Chair Turfy.
Yes.
Trustee Burris.
Yes.
Trustee Hoadley.
Yes.
Trustee Williams.
Yes.
Trustee Wood.
Yes.
Chair Edgerton, motion passes.
Okay, thank you, Dr. Schumann. And I just want to say, you know, graduation is an important part for our students, and so I always encourage everybody's participation from faculty and staff and trustees to attend. It's just a phenomenal occasion to watch all those degrees being given out and the excitement of parents and family and friends and things like that. So plan on attending in December. Consideration is our consent agenda. Do any of the board members have anything they want to discuss, pull off? There, you have personnel report and the amendment to the Brian Schott Lacombe Humanitarian Scholarship. Anyone? Any questions? All right, take a roll call, or I need a motion. Motion to accept.
So moved.
Second?
Okay, roll call.
Chair Edgerton.
Yes.
Vice Chair Turfy.
Yes.
Trustee Burris.
Yes.
Trustee Hoadley.
Yes.
Trustee Williams.
Yes.
Trustee Wood.
Yes.
Chair Edgerton, consent items pass.
Thank you all very much. Now we will move on to general public comments. Dr. Schumann.
We do, we're slated with 4 to present to the board. To start with, if I could ask David to come forward representing AFSCME, please.
Good afternoon, Chair Edgerton, Vice Chair Turfy, President Cavaluna, other members of the board, and colleagues. Chair Edgerton, I want to thank you for allowing me to address the board today. My name is David Prowlis, the newly appointed Chief Steward of AFSCME Local 1668. I'm here today representing the 300-plus members of AFSCME Local 1668 and to speak on behalf of President Sutton, who at last month's special board meeting said he was going to give longer remarks at this month's meeting, but he happens to be on vacation in the Dominican Republic. Before he left, I said I would speak in his absence if he prepared a statement. So, this is his statement. Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for allowing me to take the time to talk about the recent successful negotiations between AFSCME Local 1668 and Western Michigan University. These negotiations were conducted in a much different way than they have been in the past, and I believe that both parties would agree that this is how conversations between employees and the administration should be conducted. The reset on the relationships began months ago when Trustees Hoadley and Liggins provided a forum with the leadership of all organized groups on campus to share their experiences in previous negotiations, and then them providing us their assurances that things would be different going forward. Unlike years past, AFSCME came into these negotiations with both an independent wage study and health experts to help us understand the complex world of health insurance. Both of these provided to be very helpful and went a long way towards helping us all understand where the challenges and opportunities were. We also engaged in more of an interest-based approach rather than the more traditional method of bargaining, which allowed us to have real conversations, share very real stories and perspectives, and to fully understand why each item that was proposed was considered important from each party. This went a long way towards our ability to reach an agreement prior to the expiration date, which is something that President Cavalluna expressed as something that was important to him when he stopped by to meet us at the beginning of our discussions. Thank you to President Cavalluna for taking the time to share your perspective and for taking time to listen to some of the things that our members felt were important for you to hear. The new agreement is already paying dividends on many fronts. Many current employees feel much better about working for WMU. We're currently getting applications for positions that have been vacant for a long time. Having happier employees and a better staff workforce is a win for everyone, especially for our students. AFSCME is, and always will be, the best option for the WMU community to provide the services we take pride in performing, and we are better equipped than ever to do so. In closing, I would like to thank you to the members of the AFSCME bargaining team and for their willingness to approach these negotiations with a clean slate from past experiences, and to the members of AFSCME who showed patience and support while we were working through the process. I'd also like to thank Vice President Vanderklay, Associate Vice President Colleen Scarf, and Director of Labor Relations Kurt Graham, and the rest of the university's bargaining team for their commitment to this process. Again, I also need to say thank you to President Cavalluna and the members of the board for the roles they played in helping change the culture of these and future negotiations. Thank you. And then for me, Chair Edgerton, thank you again for giving me the chance to speak before the board today and represent the members of AFSCME Local 1668. I'll be available after if anybody has any questions. Thank you.
Thank you, David. Appreciate it. Next, Said.
Good afternoon. First of all, it's really a pleasure to see our new president, Dr. Rascaluna, here. And this is my third time speaking at the board. I hope this is the last time on this issue. My name is Saeed Abu Bakr. I'm professor of chemical and paper engineering for the last almost 25 years. I like to share my personal story just to have you think for a minute what it means to be a Palestinian refugee. As I said, I'm third generation Palestinian refugee where my parents and grandparents were kicked out under gunpoints from Palestine in 1948. My dad still have the title. My dad passed away. We still have the title for our house for our car Cadillac 1947, and for our factory of olive oil, and so on. We were never given the right to go back. But today is about what's going on in Gaza. What's going on in Gaza, as you all know, is beyond any imagination. Kids are killed while looking for food or water. People are killed while they're asleep. People are asked many, many times to move and evacuate from one place to another. This morning I was thinking 117 professors from Gaza are killed. They're killed either while they're looking for food or water or while they're sleeping in their home. 117 professors, 3 of them are president and 2 are deans. They're people like you and me. What is their guilt? Just being Palestinian and being in that land? Back in the 90s, the university were upfront on divesting from South Africa, and that's affected South Africa, and Western Michigan was the 5th university in the nation to divest from South Africa. So I'm here for 2 specific reasons or action I'm asking the board, please look and consider. First one is to divest from companies and countries who are by international law committing genocide, using food as a weapon of starvation. I'm asking you to consider that. We already lost one of the best provost I ever seen in my life, because he said neutrality in case of genocide is complicity. And it is the article in the Western Herald you can look at. He tried to do something as a provost because his ethic and morality told him to do, but he was not able to. And he resigned as a provost. The second thing I would like you to consider, think about the student of Gaza, over 10,000 killed. It's almost as much as we have a student at Western. They're people like you. They're not subhuman like the Israeli government like to say. The Israeli government is openly say we'll kill them, or they have to leave to go somewhere. These students lost their education. So many universities around the world are offering limited offer if faculty agree to offer Gaza students
Saeed, we're
online
beyond our
courses
limit.
for free.
If you
I'm
could
very
wrap up your
sorry.
commentary. No, that's okay. Thank you. 3 minutes.
I'm sorry, I took longer. Thank you.
Thank you, Saeed. Next, Marissa.
Hi, good afternoon. Many of you already know me, but for those who don't, my name is Marissa Wagner. I'm the current chair of Kalamazoo Nonviolent Opponents of War, the co-founder of WMU's Students for Justice in Palestine, and a member of the Western Solidarity Coalition. As federal targeting against international students and immigrant communities intensifies, I'm here once again to urge this board to implement protections for our growing number of international students at this university, and to, like Saeed said, divest from corporations enabling these atrocities, both here and abroad. For an entire year straight, I stood in this room with dozens of my peers pleading with this administration to do literally anything to reject the genocide in Gaza and support Palestinian students. We have begged for moral clarity, action, and leadership. What we have received instead is silence, or worse, policies designed to distance the university from accountability. The students, faculty, and community members who continue to come before this body do so because the issues we raise are not abstract policy debates. They are urgent matters of safety, dignity, and justice on this campus. Our testimony here matters. This was made evident by former Provost Julian Vasquez Heilig's publication over the summer describing how one of his greatest professional failures happened in this very room when he stayed seated after a student asked the board to stand against the killing of children in Gaza. He explained how that moment reshaped his career, compelled him to act, and taught him that the cost of silence is far greater than the cost of speaking up. His reflection proves what many of us already know, that our collective voice has the power to compel action, and our stories have the power to move institutions. The connections between Gaza and America could not be clearer. This summer, ICE signed new contracts with Israeli spyware companies to utilize the very same tools used to target, track, and oppress Palestinians. After being tested in Gaza for years, those technologies are now being used against international students and immigrant communities here in the United States. The same tactics used to brutalize Palestinians abroad are being taught to our police officers and federal agents by the Israeli military, then used against innocent Black and brown citizens in the United States. One of those learned tactics is what killed George Floyd in 2020. That is why divestment is not symbolic, it is urgent. Our tuition dollars, our institutional investments, and our community resources must not be tied to corporations that arm or enable these atrocities. When Western invests in these companies, it not only perpetuates genocide abroad, but also repression and violence at home. This is the beginning of a new semester and a new presidency. President Cavalluna, this is your opportunity to set the tone. Our community is watching to see if you will rise to the occasion or repeat the failures of your predecessors. So far, many of us are pleased with the effort we've already seen from you and are cautiously optimistic that you will not let us down. Thank you.
Thank you, Marissa. Is Jacinda here? Yeah, thank you.
Good afternoon. My name is Jacinda Swanson. I'm a recently retired associate professor from the Department of Political Science. When I addressed the Board of Trustees last December, I compared the situation at Western and in the United States to the film Zone of Interest, which portrays those living outside the Auschwitz concentration camp going about their lives as if nothing particularly troublesome is happening next door. The feeling of living in such a morally bankrupt and complacent environment has only increased over the last 9 months. Not only are we watching Israel's genocide of Palestinians, in which more than one child has been killed every hour over the last 23 months, according to Save the Children, a genocide funded by our elected representatives with our tax dollars, despite the opposition of a majority of voters. We are also watching masked ICE agents snatch student activists off the streets, detain them for months, and attempt to deport them. We are watching the federal government try to squash student protests, free speech, academic freedom, and arbitrarily strip universities and researchers of federal funding. We are watching daily, escalating authoritarian violations of the U.S. Constitution, individual rights, due process, the rule of law, separation of powers, and checks and balances. We are watching Congress give ICE a budget that surpasses the annual budgets of Iran, Turkey, Spain, Mexico, Iraq, and at least 23 other countries in the top 40 military spenders. We are watching a Supreme Court that just said it's okay for ICE to racially profile, detain, and demand proof of citizenship from anyone who is Latino or looks Latino, or who speaks with a Spanish accent, or who works in a low-wage job. In other words, we are watching the federal government enable a genocide that does not make my Jewish family any safer. A federal government that is attacking fair elections, democratic processes, universities, students, and our immigrant, brown, black neighbors, family, coworkers, and friends. Meanwhile, the vast majority of our political, university, and civic organizational leaders act as if we're living in normal times. Perhaps this is because such political, university, and civic elites are fairly insulated from the daily horrors by their socioeconomic, occupational, and racial privilege. Please divest. Please do everything you can to protect our international brown, black students.
Thank you, Jacinda. Chair Edgerton, that concludes our public speakers. Vice Chair Turfy has a question for one of the speakers.
I think I speak on behalf of all of the board that we appreciate your comments. Dr. Saeed, we did not, I checked with the chair, with our chief of staff. Please, you could have another minute or two. I'd like to learn more about, you said an international students that might want to come to Western?
Well, the original proposal that discussed with the previous regime was to bring faculty and students here. But the Trump administration now not providing any visas for even sick children who lost their limbs. They used to come here without using any US tax dollars. It's all donation. They used to be treated. Even sick children with lost limbs cannot come now. So what I am suggesting is that the thousands of students in Gaza who lost their education the last 2 years, to help them out in taking some online courses at Western Michigan.
I think that's a great idea. We should huddle and see if there's a process, Mr. President, if there's a process or if it's even possible. I think that's a good follow-up item for us. Thank you, Dr. Saeed.
The other thing I ask you to consider is divestment. Because as Jacinda said, divestment from countries and companies that practice genocide is not anti-Semitic. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, that concludes our business today. With that, I'll take a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Support. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Thank you, everyone. Thanks, everyone in the audience today for your participation and attendance.